Hi, my name's Natasha, and I am just here today to talk to you about dreams. And I know that a lot of people have dreams. Some people have big dreams, some people have small dreams, some people in the world just have dreams of having enough food to eat, or have dreams of going to school. And I fully appreciate and think that the value of all dreams is enormous, and I think that's what you need to get you through life and to get you through the day. So today I'm here to talk to you about one of my big dreams. And I know that a lot of people that I know have heard about this, but a lot of people that I know don't actually know about this at all. So right now I'm going to university for geoscience, which is basically geology, with some other stuff in there, and I love it. I really, really love geology. Like, I think it's one of the best things that you could possibly study. But I have a bigger dream, and this dream's been kicking around my head since I was 8 years old, because I've been writing since I was 8. I've been writing since elementary school, and I've been reading since I could read, and every single day I have loved writing. I do this thing every year called NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month, and essentially what that means is every November I write a 50,000 word book in a month, which has become easier over the years as you get used to it, but today I'm here to talk to you about my big dream, which is to become a published author. Now, the reason that I'm telling you about this now is because I think that I have a book or a book series rather, that can actually make it. I'm pretty confident that I have an idea that is actually good enough to make me as either a successful author or at least somebody whose writing has affected somebody or people in general. So my book series is called Bristalar, and Bristalar is about this really, really small planet in the future when humans have like a ton of technology to develop different planets, and Bristalar is basically a little rock floating in space. It's much smaller than the Earth, and so originally the people, like humanity from the future, was just going to bypass it because like it's kind of just like a little rock in space, but then a few people decided to explore it. And what was discovered was that there's space, it's just a rock, and there's these 3 big mountain belts on it from when it used to have tectonics before it cooled down completely. And within the mountains there's this acid called Brist, which is like really, really old water from when it used to have a proper atmosphere that reacted with the rock to make this incredible purple acid. And humans discovered that when adding different chemicals to the acid, you could actually drink it like water. So what humanity did was, or the people on Bristalar did, was they created factories that would essentially treat the Brist, and they extracted it from mountains, and then they built cities in the mountains that were left behind. And the reason that's significant is because since it was acid, it ate away at the inside of the mountains, so there's all these enormous, like, cities that have all these fantastic formations, almost like in caves, and they're just living in them. And so they have a little bit of an artificial atmosphere, just enough to stay alive, and essentially they're just drinking this treated Brist. Now, the problem with that is Brist is limited. There's no really like way to produce Brist. It's just what they have. So throughout the history of the planet, they just keep extracting and creating more cities, one after the other. Until 200 years before the book starts, there's this huge war that's solar system wide with this exterior kind of race, and Bristalar ends up being betrayed by all the other planets. And so from that point on, Bristalar completely cuts himself off from everybody else and becomes completely self-reliant. So fast forward 200 years, and Bristalar still hasn't talked to any of the other planets, and suddenly the Brist is running out. So because the Brist is running out, and they don't talk to any of the other planets, they have to come up with a solution on their own, which is something that they should have been thinking about a long time before, but instead, as it's close to running out now, suddenly they start to panic. And so my book series essentially follows the journey of what happens when a world runs out of the resource that they absolutely need the most, and how does that affect society, how does that affect classes, how does that affect characters. And I think that it's really, really applicable to today, because humanity, like, I don't think, regardless of like what happens to us in the future, I don't think humanity is going to change that much. I think that our basic core is going to stay the same, which means that a lot of the reactions and situations that happen in the book, I feel like they are realistic to humanity as a whole, especially when people are desperate. And so the book follows this planet as it's essentially dying, and people are scrambling to come up with solutions. And I just feel like it's so applicable to today that I really, really want a lot of people to read it, because I think it sends a really strong message out to a lot of the resource problems that we're having, and what could potentially happen to us, not in the same extreme way, or maybe in the same extreme way, but it's a proxy almost. So the book, in terms of characters, follows a family. So there's 3 people in the family who it's focused on. So one of them is Larkin, who's 23 years old, and then there's his younger sister Kendra, who's 18, and then their brother Kurt is 16. And what happens to them is they get kind of split up throughout the book series, and they end up becoming very different people based on their experiences and the people they've met and what they've seen. And it also follows, so it changes perspective every chapter, and it also goes into the perspective of those who are in charge of managing the disaster, the scientists who are trying to come up with a solution, and the people who are deciding who gets to have the Brist and who doesn't get to have it, and basically what everyone who's kind of in charge of it, as well as the people who are at the very, very lowest ends of society and how they're reacting to it. And I think it's a really good insight to people, and I'm completely in love with it. Like, Bristalar is an entire world that's been in my head for over 3 years now, and thankfully I've had some wonderful, wonderful friends in my life and family who have given it a quick read, and they have all loved it. I've had people say that they couldn't stop reading it. So all I'm asking you to do really is the link is below this video to the actual book, which is currently on Kobo Writing Life, because I tried to self-publish it, which is like the only thing that I could really do without a real publisher. Yeah, so it's on Kobo Writing Life, and if you want to, like, I would super, super appreciate it if you could just give it a quick read. Like, I understand if you, like, even if you hate it, even if you love it, like, if you loved it, that would be really awesome. But I really am confident that it's excellent, because I've worked so hard to make it excellent, and if you, like, it's totally up to you if you want to or not, but I think that it's really cool, and also it's nice to talk about it so that I don't go crazy with an entire world in my head. But yeah, so essentially that's it. That's my big dream. I want to publish Bristalar, and I want people to enjoy it, and I want it to say something about the world. So if you feel like that's something that you'd be interested in, please give my book a read, and I would really, really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much, and I hope that you all achieve your dreams, because even just having a chance to write a book is one of the best feelings ever, and it makes my heart race whenever I write. So I hope that you can find something in your life that makes you that happy and makes you that proud of yourself, because you deserve it, because you're a fantastic person. So thank you.